So I've been meaning to ask, why Liberators? Like, what have you guys been through since you came to Frostmoor? I'd love to hear more about your adventures. I mean, going through the void isn't something that normally happens. It's cursed, and I haven't heard of anyone ever really finding out what's at its ending. So I'd like to know what pulled all of you here. It's the physical entity connecting our worlds together since the Great Cataclysm, and outside of the Seekers, I've only ever seen people who have given up and become griefers, unable to return home, and scared of being cursed, and even more scared of going further. So to find out that all of you came from the void and plan on going further, I'm kinda shocked.
Oh, that was so long ago, but it started way up at the top level. You guys know of other planes or places? Well, I'm from the top, the highest level. It's known as the Broken Lands. It's a wasteland and a very desolate place. People survive and do the best they can, but it's a harsh place. I actually met up with Duran in the Broken Lands. We were headed to Cardigale. It's the city on the edge. We thought that becoming Seekers would be the best thing for us. Here I am talking like I knew him this whole time. He and I actually became acquainted just before we became Seekers. I haven't known him for a very long time. We each have our own reasons and motivations to go deeper into the void. I, as you know, follow the goddess Myliki, and she's the one who gives me my driving force, my motivation. She's my guiding light. I come from a nomadic tribe of peaceful elves, the Eladane. We mix and mingle freely with the humans, and we're a nomadic tribe now. Didn't always used to be. And after I got old enough and we were coming close to the center of the void, I got a vision and was told to go to Cardigale, and I happened upon Duran. It's strange because there's ruins all around. They all point to things that were lost. We understand that there's history and art, technology that used to just be everywhere, and it's hazy and it's hard to recall. It just is lost. So that's why people become Seekers and venture further into the void. Some, like myself, and probably you too, have reasons for going deeper. But anyway, that's where we met Scarlet and also Horatio. The four of us decided that we would, all being new Seekers, would be better together. Groups always are safer, so we decided to form our first party, and Amir Alabas, who's the headmaster on the first level, he tested all of us to see our level of skill and how well we would do. It was tough, and let me tell you, he did not give us any leniencies, but I made it to gold. Scarlet as well. Horatio and Duran were silver. It was difficult, but after that, planned to set out and venture further down. There is some special gear that he gave us after we passed the test and officially joined the guild. He provided us a Seeker's Compass, some special climbing gear, and the Felix Felicis, a golden vial of a magical potion. Some call it liquid luck. The compass is also special too. I pull out the compass and I say, we all have one. And the pointer on it rotates to the closest Seekers Guild. There seems to be a special attunement to it. Whenever we go to a new layer or if something happens, we can always use this to guide us. It will always take us directly there, which might not be the best path, but at least we can find our way. But soon we set forth and continued down into the strange world below. It was a weird void, and there was animals and creatures that fly within the walls. It was insane. Immediately we saw this gigantic creature flying in the sky. It's insane. I mean, I know I'm one to talk with a magical flying spear and all, but it was like a whale. It was insane. It was not peaceful. We had to run and escape it, but once we did, we made it to the first floor. It's known as the Cull. We had a lot of tough battles, and rough nights, but eventually we fought our way through a gateway, and it led down to the first dungeon. And it was very odd because everything just seemed like stone brick all around you, and as you traveled further in, it was odd because it didn't seem right. But there it was, right in front of you. And the strangeness just continued. I thought I saw everything, but this is why my goddess sent me forward. To see all the crazy things in this world and learn of its majesty and glory. We found weird people in the first dungeon. There were people in costumes. They were pretending to be vampires. I don't know, maybe they were. There was also this huge mural of a bat-like creature painted on the wall, depicting attacking villages. I don't know if they worshipped it or thought it was magical or even made it themselves, but they were weirdos and trying to drink our blood, and I don't know. It was awkward, so we quickly disposed of those and moved right on. Unfortunately, we found some treasures too, and I'll make a sour face, and I say unfortunate because some of them were cursed. And our companion, Scarlet, she quickly grabbed a magical sword before any of us could stop her. It magically compelled her with a curse. She could not drop it. She could not let it go, and if she did, who knows, it magically teleported or what back into her hand. And that was a problem, you see. She already had one knife for a hand, and now she had another one, and had 2 knives for hands. Oh, I'm sorry to chuckle, Scarlet. It's just funny thinking back about it now. I miss you. Anyway, that was quite an ordeal, but we made it through. Eventually, we were able to remedy that. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. I'm just thinking of all the funny things we ran into. Some of the things were actually pretty cool. We actually found some chalk that could magically open doors and walls, and a stone key. This strange stone key would open... I actually don't remember if it was a portal or what, but I think Horatio still has that key. Or maybe we traded it with the drow. But eventually we found the exit of this dungeon lair, and it slowly led to a dry, sunny, hot desert. Sand and sun as far as the eye could see. But that's how we know we made it to the next level. The land of the fallen star.
Wow, you really have been through a lot. Vampires? I wish I'd been there for that. What happened next?
Yes, the land of the fallen star. I remember it well. We ran into Orlo and Jet in that refugee camp. They explained to us about the legend of the Orabu and the goddess Acadia, where it was promised that she would come again and lead her people to a utopia. We met Makar, good friend. He helped us travel across the desert, and we had no idea how important he would be to us. He also explained to us about the foul feather, as we saw that his wings were bound. The foul feather were people who weren't considered pure, that they had a mixture of all the Aracrocan in their blood, or a mixture. It was eye-opening. As we were arriving upon the capital city of Galeem, we came across a mysterious cloaked figure and some stone golems, which is kind of ironic how important coming across those were, as those got us some renown amongst the city. We were transported to the upper roost where the noble Aracrocan reside, and we met Syl, who surprisingly was actually caught trying to break in. We decided that maybe we should recruit him as opposed to turn him in, and he turned into a steadfast ally. We located the local Seekers Guild, and there met Natasha, the leader, Scrappy Aracrocan. Hope she's doing well. There is where Syl took his test and became a gold seeker, and I was able to find more information about my parents. They are certainly high-ranking seekers. That's why I came to the Void, just to find them, but the deeper I dive, I'm surprised by information that I did not know. We were captured by the Pontifex and set up for public execution as terrorists. After everything we did, that's when it happened. What looked like Makar, but it wasn't the normal black foul-feathered individual. It was this majestic being, and he turned out to be the Arabu, or the reincarnation of, at least. And that's where he broke our shackles, and we battled the pontifex and dethroned him from his dictatorship of hate and classism. We worked with the High Priestess and the Tanawan to, just rebuild the government, rebuild their society. They gave us this dark scroll before we left, and that's when I learned about the Void and its immense power. As I was possessed by Halistar, or a spirit, I'm not sure exactly. I'm still trying to figure that out, but he possessed us and we learned a lot of information we did not know. Learned about Halistar, him being an old wizard, ancient, who had a grudge against the gods and wanted to just destroy them with the power of this goddess Persephone. There's just still so much I don't know. That's when we learned that our friend Scarlet, who is no longer with us, had a connection with the Void. I hope she's safe wherever she's at. She had a connection just calling her to go deeper into the Void. I'm not sure if she's even holding up against that or if she's just following it blindly. And it's funny, really. I mean, come to get questions answered and you just get more questions. And as we just left, confused, we took a look back. At least we did some good here. And at least we liberated it.
Well, now I see where you got that name. Wow, freeing the land of the falling star is kind of a big deal.
But that would not be our last end of our adventure into the wound in the world, into the void. We had many trials ahead of us, and people from my past to meet ahead of us. When we went further into the void, there are in-between worlds we had to traverse, and another one of those was a strange foresty world with sinister creatures and strange enemies. But while we went through, I found that we were not alone. We had been being stalked by my warband, my people, my tribe, the Valkyrie. They had kept themselves secret, hidden from the eyes of my team, but I knew that they were here. I stepped off in the middle of the night to go see who had been stalking us, and they revealed themselves. They also revealed a horrific plot, a sinister plan to destroy humanity. I had known, however, about this before I had left, but it was a very different time, and I had not shared that truth with my team. But after they showed up, I was able to find the courage from my friends, from King and Horatio. Once I told my team about it, we had continued going deeper and deeper into the void, hoping that we might find a way to not only save humanity, but also, I guess, progress as seekers and as warriors. There was a lot of adventure ahead of us in the void, and we were all excited. But in the in-between world, we met with the Xanathar's Guild, a strange group of people worshipping a beholder god of some kind. I'm not sure, but they had some kind of feud with the were-rat people who lived in this in-between world as well. That was very confusing and very messy. It was too much. It was too complicated, and it was just better for us to leave. We unfortunately got so caught up in it, we lost track of King, and King had been kidnapped by the sinister force known as Halistar. He'd embodied a zombie beholder. We had gotten distracted with everything going on with Xanathar, and the sinister force known as Halistar was able to kidnap King. We were able to pull together as a team, track down the sinister zombie beholder that kidnapped King, and lay it to rest. However, that was only the start of our challenges moving into the next world of Duskhaven. After we defeated the zombie beholder and rescued King, we found ourselves beset by new enemies, demons. They seemed to come from all sides in a world surrounded with a sinister dark mist. During a lightning storm, a group of demons surrounded us. We tried to separate to gain a tactical advantage and meet up later. This mysterious woman, Jade, appeared, and she came with a crystal and introduced us to the power of the crystal, the sap, the divine spirits, the defenses of Nyx in this world. We found that there were more challenges ahead of us here, and that we would need to continue forward. We also found out about a prophecy. I do not put much hope in prophecies. I believe we make our own future, but the word of wise people speak volumes. Silm, or I, would be the one to get a weapon from this void powerful enough to change the destiny of us all, but it was not clear whether one of us would use it for good or for evil. But I will not dwell on that. We were not the only ones in need of help in this dangerous world. When we met with Jade, we had found out Damona, leader of the Monoma, was in danger as well and needed our help. There was no way we could refuse Jade, who had saved us, so we mounted an assault. But it was there in that battle with the demons that I encountered my warband yet again, caught up in the sinister plans of the villainous Doramu, the Drow Magicker. We were able to get past the demons and get to Damona while she battled a greater demon, and once we slayed it, the warband with Doramu attempted to remove a shard from the creature, but Silm, being ever agile and prepared, hopped down and snatched it from their grasp. They left, leaving Galdrim with us. I should have known then something was wrong. My people would never abandon one of our own, and that's our first sign Doramu had corrupted their hearts. But I digress. We were able to bring Galdrim with us as we continued on our journey, and bit by bit, we were able to help him understand what we had seen and what I had seen in these worlds. The people, so different, unique, and important. But once we had saved Monoma, we ventured on to Smallpoint, and from there we had discovered that these crystals, the one salvation in this place, were not perfect or protected in their own right. We had ran into a sinister group of more enemies, a pair of demons known as Balin and Jalen. They and other demons had been using techniques to corrupt the crystals. The only line of defense against the darkness here was no longer a given. We were only able to fight against them when we met up with the demon dancers, the defenders of this realm, who had used the style and techniques of element dancing to fight the demons of this world. We met with Genju, and going on with them, we were able to journey farther. But then, we came across a cave in a place called Frostbite, where an evil, sinister creature known as Enceladus lived. The power of these demons is unlike anything else we had ever encountered. We had been lured into the cave, looking for respite from the snow, and encountered a powerful demon Enceladus. And then another moment of miracle from my talented cousin. The Heaven's Dew was activated, and we were able to seal the demon behind a barricade. We thought that was the end of it. But as we slept outside of the cave, the demon's power infiltrated our minds and turned us against each other. We knew we were no match for it on our own. And Scarlet had chosen to stay behind to guard the cave and make sure that the demon harmed no one else. That was the last I saw of Scarlet, but I like to think that she's with us now, helping us in every fight, in her own way.
I had no idea that you guys had been through so much. But you should really know, Cal, what happened after. See, they had all come through the Temple of Nyx. That's where I met them. Genju opened up a tear. There was some sort of emergency, and everyone had to rush to see the daimyo. I took them there, and I just sort of was a witness as they told us everything. Lancel, that's the head of the Seekers Guild here in Shiveron. He told us the story that he had heard about this cave, and well, it mirrored what they had described. It seemed as though some sort of creature of legend was awake. Something had to be done, so the daimyo sent away some of the leaders of the demon dancers. He sent away Yuri, Hitomi, and Genju. That was the last time we've seen him. But anyway, royal guests need a royal guide, so I lended a hand, showing them around town, and showed them to the Seekers Guild, and of course to the tavern where they wanted to stay. I don't blame them. After all, Lancel is the leader here, but I guess you should be familiar by now. All the demon dancers, they're elemental dancers. There's the stone dancers, the storm dancers, flame and mist. Of course, the cloud dancers, the most respected. The daimyoship has always been held by a member of the Goren family, and most of them are from cloud dancers. Of course, all this is only underneath the leadership of our glorious Queen Camilla. I felt compelled to join them at this point. It was very important, you see. They agreed. As long as I became a seeker. Things got off on a bit of a not great foot with King and I, but we're good now, right, King? Yeah. So I took a test. Lancel was the one who ran it, of course, but he gave me Gold Seeker status, and we went off to go check out Shiverum. I showed them all around town, taking them first of all to Phineas's Frozen Fractals, which is where we, of course, met you.